What I'd like to talk about is something that I was actually just talking to somebody about earlier today. It comes up a lot, which is I work with a lot of couples, and people often find themselves in not just a painful relationship, but a painful relationship that they experience with different people in different relationships over and over and over again. Why do I keep finding myself in the same kind of painful relationship over and over again? And so what I like to explain to them is this thing that I call the rematch. And there's a story I want to tell you, which is Muhammad Ali, who was one of my heroes in 1967, because he wouldn't fight in Vietnam, got his title. He was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he got his title stripped from him, which is a very traumatic thing for Ali. And then in 1971, 3 years later, he got his license back to fight. And during that time, there was now a new heavyweight champion, Joe Frazier. And so in 1971, this thing called the fight of the century happened, where Muhammad Ali was going to fight Joe Frazier to see now who was indeed the heavyweight champion of the world. And it was huge. And everybody thought, because Ali was the champ, everybody thought it was a no-brainer. But Joe Frazier shocked the world and beat Muhammad Ali. Now, at the time, this was at a time that was called the golden age of heavyweights. And the reason I want you to know this is it just means that there were so many great fighters at that time, so many great fights that Ali could have fought. But when he lost that fight to Joe Frazier, what he did the very next day was he called for a rematch. He wanted to fight Frazier again, because Frazier had cost him the most amount of pain, and he was the one that Ali was the most invested in. And he wanted a different result. Excuse me. And this is what we do in so many of our relationships. Growing up, we have a relationship with one of our parents that causes us not just a lot of pain, but a very specific kind of pain. And when we grow up and looking in for our romantic relationships, we don't realize it, but we are looking for someone that mirrors that kind of pain that we experienced, and we want to go at it with them, but this time with a different result. John Wineland had a great line where he said, "Love is our nervous system's recognition of home." And home, emotionally, sometimes can be a dangerous place. So when someone says, how come I keep finding myself in the same kind of relationship over and over? How come I keep dating people who are unavailable to me? How come I keep dating people who treat me like crap? The reason is because on some level you experienced someone treating you like crap growing up. You experienced someone not available to you, and you want to go at it with them again, but this time get a different result. And so because of it, people go through hell. In the third Ali Frazier fight, they fought each other 3 times. In the third fight, Ali said in the middle of the fight, "I think this is what death feels like." And when you're trying to get a different result from the same fight over and over and over again, it feels like death. So the remedy, which is more than we have time for, but the remedy begins with an awareness. An awareness that this is what you're doing, that you're trying to get a different result out of the same fight over and over. And so it begins with learning, I don't have to fight that fight anymore. I need to either find someone that's not going to make me go through this fight over and over, which, by the way, when you end up with someone else, they also have a fight that they're fighting over and over again. And so I either find someone where I don't have to fight that fight, or even better, I begin to heal that part of me that thinks I have to go after this person in order to get that result, for me to feel loved and for me to feel worthy and at home. That's what I want to talk about today.